TNE Inspire Podcast, a lifestyle podcast for inside tips on living your best life as a person of color in America.
You are listening to TNE Inspire Episode 1. This episode of TNE Inspire is brought to you by Homebrew Bar, where every cup feels like you're welcome home. Homebrew Bar offers over 10 different types of tea that you can order with or without boba, as well as 2 different types of coffee. Homebrew Bar specializes in cold brew teas and coffees with unique signatures, such as their dirty milk tea with coconut and a TNE personal favorite, their cold brew house coffee with pistachios and taro vanilla whipped cream. So if you're ever in the Pasadena, California area, make sure you stop by their main location, 39 North Arrows Parkway, Pasadena, California, 99103, and tell them TNE Inspired sent you.
Welcome to TNE TV. It's your girl, Christina De La Fresh, and this is the Couture Life. On today's episode of TNE Inspire, we have a sit-down interview with DL, the Master Barber. Let's get it.
Welcome to TNE Inspire Podcast. Each week at 10 a.m. on Fridays, you can look forward to TNE Magazine, which is the best digital multicultural lifestyle magazine for people of color, to have their hosts and guests take you behind the scenes of what inspires today's influencers and industry elites of color in the departments of fashion, beauty, style, entertainment, food, health and wellness, culture, and politics. In these conversations, they share what helps their guests to engage, persuade, and grow their unique brand. TNE's mission is to share exclusive insider tips, wisdoms, and action-based tools to help you be the best minority in America. Now, if you're not a minority, please still feel free to listen, because we want you to have a better understanding of how minorities in this country stay true to their culture while achieving the American dream. So sit back and enjoy TNE Inspire Podcast.
Hey everyone, you do not want to miss this interview today. I got to sit down with the great DL, the Master Barber. We talked about life lessons. We talked about dating, and come on millennials, we need to get that together. We talked about music. And we talked about the importance of owning a good suit. So please tune in, all right? Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today for my first interview. And
your first?
My first.
What?
And who better to interview
than
a master barber? DL, the Master Barber, fashion debonair, comedian, inspirational speaker. But I'm already telling you about him. I'm gonna let him, in case you didn't know who he was, tell you about himself.
I'm what you would call, first of all, my name is Darren Lyons. Y'all already know that. I am a master barber, and so that's just a brand, it's a tag name. It's DL Master Barber is just a part of the brand, but at the same time, I am DL, standing for Darren Lyons, and I'm a master barber. So that's how it all worked out, and I like to keep everything simple. We're in a world of simplicity, so I like to keep it simple. But at the same time, I wouldn't classify myself as just a barber and in the fashion world. I think I'm more of a Renaissance man. And what I mean by that is that because I'm a little bit of everything, I don't want to be put in a box. I don't want to be just known as a barber. I don't want to be just known as a philanthropist. I don't want it to be known as just a person that has a big heart. I do a little bit of everything. I travel. I do very wild and crazy things when I travel. I do a little bit. Me and James Bond need to hook up, shake and not stir. That's what I'm saying. And I don't even drink. You can shake me up some lemonade or something.
Hey, we needed a James Bond as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm your guy.
All right, then.
I'm ready.
So tell me a little bit about where you're from and how you got your beginnings as a barber. How'd you start out?
Well, I'm originally from Warren, Ohio, and a very small town in Warren, Ohio. My mother came out here when I was a very young child to give me a better opportunity. The city of Warren, Ohio was a steel mill plant city. If you didn't work in the steel mills, then you didn't have no job. If you did have a job, you worked at Arby's or the mall. That ain't no job. So therefore, or McDonald's, one of those, somewhere in between there, that's where you was gonna be. Average income is probably about $28,000 to $35,000 annually. The average house was about $22,000 to $28,000, 3-bedroom, and everybody drove a GM cars because they had steel mills. They also had GM in their plants there. So my mom wanted a better opportunity for me, and she made an executive decision to come out here, even though she didn't even have a plan. But she knew that she wanted to come here, and so here I am. It was very humble beginnings in the beginning, coming from the projects and places like that, and living in low income situations. But my mom wanted me to have a better opportunity, and with that opportunity, we arrived here in the city of Pasadena, pretty much where I've been pretty much all my life. And we landed in a place where we started Liso Village, from Liso Village to Los Angeles in the jungles, East LA to the jungles, from the jungles to Kings Manors. And that's right up the street from where we are now. The address was 1224 Progress Lane, but there was no progress on Progress Lane.
Oh, that's deep.
You know what I mean? It was robbing, stealing, killing, and banging on Progress Lane. Those were very trying times for me and my mother because I was the only child and she was a single parent. But one thing that my mom and my grandmother always had in common is she had prayer. And so she continued to pray to make sure there was safe passage between me and all the places I've been. Now, was it safe all the time? Absolutely not. Was it trying? Absolutely. But obviously I'm sitting here with you, beautiful young lady, and I'm able to do this interview, so obviously I made it through. So the crazy thing about that address though, but I was a very optimistic child as well. So, I looked at it like this, it's 12 months out the year, I'm grinding. All 12 months. It's 24 hours out the day, I'm still grinding. And I'm gonna make progress. So I use that address for something positive instead of looking at the project facility that I was in. I didn't allow people to, let their reality become my reality. I wanted something different. I didn't want to be a spectator. I wanted to be a player. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up playing hard. I work hard and I play hard, So, God be the glory.
Yeah. So you do a lot. You talking about traveling.
I don't do much.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of stuff. But how does fashion tie into your brand in the midst of doing all the things that you do?
Well, let me tell you something. Fashion is very delicate. It's very unique. It's a part of who you are. Some people say, well, you know what? I just got off this crazy diet. Well, reality is you didn't get off no diet. It's what you eat every day. Fashion is the same way. Fashion is a lifestyle, right? And so my mom, even though we were living in very humble beginnings, my mom had bought a subscription to GQ magazine. Now, could she afford anything in there? Absolutely not. But she wanted me to have a vision. She wanted me to be focused on something more than just khakis and t-shirts and Chuck Taylors. And we had a pair of Nikes everybody used to wear before Jordans called Nike Cortezes.
I knew you were going there.
Yes, because I know you got some hood in you, that's why. So everybody from the hood know about the Cortezes, Mm-hmm. But my mom wouldn't allow me to wear tennis shoes to school. So I had to wear suits to school. Even in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, I had to wear ties and shirts. And my mom said, because this is a business. This is not fun time, this is business. So everybody thought I was a weirdo, and yeah, maybe so. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that it prepared me, Les Brown said this, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. So my mom, even though I didn't like it, she was preparing me for something bigger. Now, all other kids was dressed in tennis shoes and tough skins and terry cloth shirts. I'm wearing suits, but I got comfortable in that, and it was what it was. And so I beat the best of them in some basketball in the tie, if you think it's a game. Me and my Buster Browns.
So the fashion brand started young for you then?
It started very young for me, but one thing about the fashion brand is that you have to wear it. It ain't about the suit. It's about the person wearing the suit. And so, anything that I'm rocking, I'm going to rock it to the fullest, and I'm what you call a tastemaker. I set the tone, I set the standard for anything and anybody around me. So I'm very passionate about that. So you can see me getting a little bit louder. It's because I'm passionate about what I wear. I'm very time oriented, so I dress in times. So if I'm gonna go to the 40s, I'm gonna dress completely from head to toe to the 40s. Now, when I walk through the airport, everybody know he's somebody. I don't know who he is, but he's somebody. And so that's who I am. And so I might go to the 30s, I might go to the 60s. So when I wear my 70s and my bell bottoms, my plaid or my checkered pants, and you can't even see my shoes, but I go from head to toe. I rock it all the way down with my big apple hats and the big glasses. That's just who I am because I'm a tastemaker. This is what I do. I create styles way before anybody trying to do it. So, for me, it's been this way my whole entire life. And so I don't care what people think. I don't care what people have to say. It's because at the end of the day, the bottom line is about me. You didn't buy none of this. You ain't trying to get down with this. Don't worry about it. It's okay, boo-boo. Don't trip. But for me, it's what makes me feel good. So fashion is a big part of that, and I never got rid of what was implanted in me from my mom, from the GQ magazine to the Elle magazine to the Vogue. My mom had me looking at all of that stuff, and the reason why is because although there was Vogue magazine and that was a women's magazine, but there was always men in there with a woman dressed nice, and she wanted me to see that. Look at them socks. Look at that top. Look at this. Look at that. And so she didn't make me dress a certain way, besides the way I used to have to go to school. But as I became into my own, I started seeing things different. I'm not a chicken, I'm an eagle. See, chickens keep their head on the ground. Eagles look down on everything. So I'm not I see way ahead of the time.
All right, you heard that here, DL.
You heard it here first.
Ben did it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your signature look then. Like when people see you, what are they gonna see you and what do they know you?
I don't have a signature look because I'm all over the place. I mean, like I said before, I dress in time. So my signature look is about being sharp. No matter what that is.
I think that is a good signature.
No matter what that is.
Sure.
I'm gonna be sharp no matter if I'm going to work out, I'm gonna be wet. For those non-hood people, wet means looking good.
Let them know what.
Okay, but for the hood people, y'all understand, I'm going to look good from head to toe. I'm going to be dressed all the way from the beginning to the end, from the top to the bottom. That's just the way I've always been. That's the way my mama raised me, and for me, that's just a big deal. It's, so when you say signature look, my signature look is being sharp no matter what. My mama always taught me, and I speak a lot about my mom because I love her so much, but she always would tell me, fake it until you make it.
Hey.
So, I don't shop in malls. I don't do malls. I haven't been in a mall in over 30 years. I don't believe in those type of clothes, and the reason why is because they don't make them for me. They make them for people who are average, everyday Joes, people who got jobs. I don't believe in jobs. Jobs stand for just over broke. I ain't that dude. So,
loving these acronyms,
I don't do the mall thing. I shop at, second hands. I go to the Rose Bowl swap meet for the last 30 years, the second Sunday of every month. That's my thing. That's my thug thizzle. I go to a lot of secondhand places all over the world because that's what I believe in. And the clothes are different. The quality of the stitching is different. The quality of the stitching inside. You talking about silk in there. You see it. Watch out. Don't look too hard, girl. Trying to get a date messing with me. Slow it down. So, it's those type of things. It's the quality. And see, when you're printing and pressing up a whole bunch of the same, a lot of these suits they only made is one-off. You ain't gonna see this one. You might see the same type of look. You ain't gonna see this one. You see what I'm saying? Because the suits that they make now, if you're not spending a lot of money on a suit, you got 10 good cleaners in it, and then that suit gonna start sagging on you. The material's not gonna hold up into the type of elements that they're using to clean your suits. It's a lot of things like that. So, I'm very particular on materials. I'm very particular on how it fits on me. And everything that I get don't fit on me right away. It has to be sent to the tailor. I tailor my t-shirts. So you ain't going to buy no t-shirt from Foot Locker. And first of all, I ain't going there. But if I did, it would be tailored. I don't care if it say just do it. It's going to fit me, the way my body works. So I'm very particular on how I look in anything that I'm wearing. Why? Is because I'm the type of person, you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who you're going to see. And I'm about my business. And since I'm about my business 24 hours a day. So my mom never let me go outside wearing house shoes and flip-flops. She never let me just go out just throwing some pajamas on to go to the store and get some milk. Even if I was going next door, it didn't matter. you get dressed, because that's what we do around here. So for me, flying through an airport, even when I'm flying 17, 18 hours on a flight, depending on where, and which is often, I'm still dressed from head to toe. And for me, this is comfortable. So with signature, there is no signature. I am the signature.
So you talked a lot about the importance of looking good. Now, especially, I don't want to put it like that, but some people tend to think people of color are too materialistic. I don't see it as that, though. I don't see what you're saying as being that. In fact, I see it as the opposite. Why do you think it's so important to look good?
Well, see, it's like this. The way I see it, personally, the way I dress is the way I want to be addressed.
Exactly.
Okay? So what that means is, for me, and is basically, when you see me, you ain't going to be saying, "What's up, dog? What's up, homie?" You going to know that this is a businessman. Irregardless of what it looks like to you, they're going to say, he's somebody. And I am somebody, just like you somebody. The fact that people look at us a certain way is because we are, African-American people are big consumers. We're consumer of automobiles. We're consumer of electronics. We're consumer of clothes. Me personally, I believe that we are focused on the wrong things. I believe that we should be focusing more on what we want to do to be happy, as opposed to focusing on trying to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know who the Joneses are. Everybody I know that have the last name Jones ain't super paid, but everybody's trying to keep up with them. So me personally, I've never been one to keep up with nobody. My biggest thing is trying to keep up with me. There's an old saying that says that you can't control something that's out of your control. Once you try to control something that's out of your control, we tend to lose what God gave us to control, which is me, which is us. So therefore, I don't have time to be trying to look what you're trying to do and trying to control what you're trying to do when I got enough problems dealing with me. God says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow got his own set of problems. You need to be worried about what's going on right now. And what's going on for me right now is that's not my issue. I try to tell people to live below your means, at least my peer group. And when I'm on that stage speaking, I'm in the business of hope. I'm in the business of giving people hope. I'm in the business of inspiring. I'm in the business of empowering. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to get you to understand is stay in your lane. Forget about what Kim doing. She just signed a $150 million contract for 4 years. You know what I mean? Ryan done gave her that kind of money, but I think they gave her that kind of money to distract other people from getting their dreams, following their dreams. But that's not my issue. My issue is DL getting his money. Okay? And so we spend so much money trying to keep up with somebody else that we are forgetting about what it really takes to be me, happy. And a lot of people believe that happiness is based on your bank account. It don't have nothing to do with that. If that was the case, then why so many rich people killing themselves? I'm just saying. But these are words that's coming from a master barber's mouth. These are the words that are coming from somebody who's been around a long time, working behind a lot of multimillionaire people. This is a voice that's coming from somebody who came from humble beginnings and then ended up making money and then ended up losing it and making it again. This is a person who's been around a lot of people. And let me tell you something. I graduated from a great school. I graduated from an amazing college. It's called the University of Barnes & Noble. They just had it down the street in Pasadena, is where I graduated. But you can't get my records from there now. They closed down at some ice cream store or something now. But that's where I got my education from. You know what I mean? I graduated first. I got my undergrads in the School of Hard Knocks from the hood. Then I went to Barnes & Noble. And then I went there because I got tired of people taking advantage of me, financially and mentally. So I had to learn on my own how to become a better person, how to become a better brander, how to become a better businessman. I learned all that from the University of Barnes & Noble.
Amen. I mean, I came here to do an interview, and now I feel like I've been taken to church. But you said so clearly you read a lot. You're
Yes.
well-read, you're a student. When did the student become the teacher? When did you decide you wanted to start writing books?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I think it was the fact that when you start becoming an educator and you start helping other people become businessmen and businesswomen. There's 23 barbershops that came out of my barbershop alone. And I don't allow people to work for me unless they got a 750 FICO score. So if they don't have a 750, they can work for me and have a 0 FICO score. But before you getting ready to get out of here leaving me, your score's got to be up. And it's my job to help you get there. It's my job to help you become a homeowner. because 60 to 80% of all barbers and hairstylists retire broke. I didn't want my people, the ones I'm raising, to be in that category. So I wanted them to have a nice car. See, today, the millennials, which I don't really care for millennials that much, and the reason why I don't care for millennials, and I'm looking at this camera so you can hear, so you heard it from me, I don't like you. I don't. And the reason why I don't like you, millennials, is because of this. Millennials are so talented. They're the smartest person I've ever seen on this planet. In my lifetime, I've never seen a bunch of talented individuals. This is where the problem comes in at. They have a problem living up to their full potential because they keep their head in that damn phone. They wake up to that damn phone. They don't know how to spell. They don't know how to speak to people. They are expecting somebody to give them something when you don't need nobody giving you nothing. You need to work hard like everybody else. You feel like you're privileged, and you're not. And so, honestly, I don't like them. I love them as people, but I don't like their ways. I'm old school. I don't like your hip. Listen. The hip hop that you guys are listening to is not hip hop. What is that? English, please.
They call it
English.
rap.
I don't care what they call it. It ain't rap. It ain't hip hop. But yet still, but then you can't speak English. But then as soon as you get the word, I want to thank God. What God? What God are we talking about? Because I don't understand. It was this real hip hop. Let's call it hip hop. Whatever y'all got going on, that is not hip hop. Don't call it that. Because where I come from an era with real hip hop. I come from Big Daddy Kane. I come from Pac. I come from Big. I come from De La Soul, Public Enemy, Step Sonic. You know, that's where I come from. That's real hip hop. Now, this new stuff, it changes. But now when you ain't speaking English, that is not hip hop. Y'all on some bass type stuff. So we're not playing that game. You know, I'm not knocking you for your hustle. But I'm telling you what it is. That's not hip hop. And so this is a part of the growth of the millennials. You're not even hearing anything that's going to help you get to the next level. At least back then, they were telling you what their struggles was. When Run DMC says it's hard times spreading like the flu, watch out, homeboy, don't let it get you. See, that was something that was a struggle. And they were speaking from the heart. And they were passionate about it, and they wasn't doing it for money. It was the art. Now you come up with some bull crap, and you get all the money, and you ain't even passionate about it. You get your money, and now you gone. You're a one-hitter quitter. That's what it is. Where 2 Chainz at now? Where all the rest of these dudes at now? They get their money and they get gone. How many albums that LL have? How many albums did Run DMC have? See, these are all of the things that are true, passionate artists about their craft. Erykah Badu said it best. She said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my S-H-I-T. I'm just saying. I know that wasn't a part of it, but it just got me when I thought about the millennials. So we can get back to the interview.
I like that you got passionate. You know, I think the most important thing is a lot of people have hard opinions about my generation, but how many people are actually putting books out there to educate us to come up? So I think it's one thing to talk about people, it's another thing to be active.
But what do you think about your generation as a whole?
I partly agree with you.
Partly?
I mean, it's half and half, because I know these kids are smart marketers, but they're not living up to their fullest potential. But I think a lot of the things that you're talking about, the fact that you want to make sure the people that you personally educate, you personally work with, are going to become homeowners, that's really important, because, again, so many people can criticize, but how many people are actually doing something to
But
get
see,
back?
this is the thing. Me personally, I'm truly making money off of something that I shouldn't be making money off of. And that's sad. You know what that is? I'm making money off of telling people to speak to people. I'm making money off of customer service. How can you get paid on customer service, but I'm getting paid for it? I'm traveling all over the world telling people, if you want to make some money, just speak to people. Your generation don't do. Y'all don't speak for nothing. Why should I speak? But it's because of that phone. You don't have to speak. See, back in the day when I was growing up, they had this thing called courting, right? And that was something, that's a word too, by the way, you can look it up.
I know what cord it is.
Okay, well, just in case you didn't know, but this is for maybe not for you, but for the people out there.
For sure.
Okay, and you used to have to, if you like somebody, see, when I was a young lad, you know, this was a long time ago, we used to write these things it was called a piece of paper. It was like we rip a piece of paper off, right? And then it was a pencil, number 2 pencil. We didn't really use pens back then. And sometimes we even used a crayon. It just depends on what we had at the time, and depending on the grade. And it would say, will you go with me, yes or no? And we would put it in boxes, right? And then we would threaten everybody who would try to open up that piece of paper, like, man, I'm gonna kick your butt if you open this paper, pass it to the front. Now, that's to the person that we liked. That was our initial way of making we were addressing that person and saying, hey, I like you. You know, and for me, I was a baller back then, you know, just want to let you know. My mama gave me $5 a day in the 4th and 5th grade, 6th grade. So $5 a day made it a lot of money. For me, I was making money back then. So let me take you back. At $5 a day, I used to go to this liquor store called Lindsay's Liquor, and I talked to Mr. Lindsay, and he wouldn't let kids go to school, come into the liquor store before school because they would steal. So it was none of that. You can only come after school, and it was kind of more of a disbursement of kids. So it's the neighborhood kids. And I told him I wanted to sell candy, and he told me to meet him on Saturday. And I met him on Saturday, and the funny thing is, when I met him on Saturday, he took me in the back, and it was just like, oh, candy just rolls of candy. I thought he was Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, but he was black, right?
The black Willy Wonka.
The black Willy Wonka. And the funny thing is that he taught me a word called wholesale and retail. And I was only in the 4th grade. And he said, well, I'm going to sell it to you wholesale, meaning I'm going to give it to you below market price. And then when you sell it for this price, right? And so he told me, tell me what you need. This is what we're going to call this inventory. And so I had to look up these words because I went and told my mom. And of course, my mom, she was an avid reader, so she made me look the words up. And so I understood what they meant. So my inventory was Now Laters, Chico Sticks, Fun Dips, Boston Baked Beans, Lemon Heads, you know, all of these things, pickles. I needed pickles with the little spicy plum, the old roasted spicy plum. I had a little bit for everybody, right? And then I would have the necklace chains. I would always get every single day. I always make sure I had a necklace chain, and I had a bracelet chain, candy chain, and I would have a diamond ring candy. And that was for my girlfriend. Every day, she would get that. I would send it to her class because I was the dealer at the school. And so, and then I had all of these kids sell it for me. So I was making in the 4th grade, making over $50 a day.
Ooh, hustle.
Right?
Hustle.
So, you know, my business mind started very early, right? And so what I'm telling you is that back then we had to put in the work. And then when we got into high school, we actually asked people on dates. As opposed to you guys, well, you can get on Facebook, you got all these dating sites, you don't have to meet the person, you don't even got to go to the club no more. You have to go to the club, but you got to invest. You had to invest. And what that meant was you got to go to the club, you want to see the pretty girls. You know what I mean? Unless you seen them in your game, your Mac, see, we used to call it Mac back then. Your Mac had to be on tight. I wasn't that type of guy. I was very popular, but even though I was a popular kid, I wasn't so outgoing, if you will, when it came to talking to a girl. So I would have to have her like me more than me like her. So what I'm saying to you is that I had to learn. If I wanted to speak to a girl, I'm going to have to actually say it. Y'all, on the other hand, can say something on that phone and don't care what she say or what he say. See, back then, we had to actually look at the person. If I wanted to tell y'all I like you, I'd say, you know what, you are really beautiful. And I got to look at you. And you'd be like, shut up, ugly boy. But I had to deal with it. That's what you felt, whatever the case may be. But with you guys, everything is more of an illusion. You can make up everything. You can take a picture next to a bin and, girl, that boy balling. He ain't balling. That ain't even he is. Everything's an illusion with y'all. Nothing is really reality. Nothing's real. And you guys ain't even got the true swag, because if y'all had real swag, I would shut you down. If it was me, if I had it like that, I would just go to Malibu and have my boys show up, and I wear a robe and just pull up in Malibu and get some mail out somebody's mailbox, and you'd be like, look at his house. I go to valet and just go to a nice restaurant, go to valet and open up a door to a Ferrari and take a picture. I would have y'all so messed up, but I ain't got the floss like that. But y'all ain't even got game like that. That's how whack y'all are. I'm just saying. Y'all whack. Period. I want you guys are so creative. I want you to create new things with all of this technology that you have. I want you to give me better music, because you can. It's like you're not putting any effort to it. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see you guys more outgoing. You guys can create everything. This stuff, all of these apps, and all, that's y'all generation. Y'all doing it. That's how special you are. That's how unique you are. You guys are gifted. But I would like to see your gift turn into magic. That's just me. Because I just see a generation of people that are lazy. Not all of you. But so many are lazy and you don't want to do the work. And I would like to see it work. What's happening? This is DL Master Barber, man. I'm with TNE TV. Let me tell you something. This is amazing, amazing, amazing show. Y'all got to get it. I'm up here with the Couture Life of Chrishta de la Fresh. Let me tell you, we had an amazing time. Look, if you're ready to change your life, if you're ready to do something different in 2018 that you wasn't doing in 2017, you got to watch this cast. You got to watch this show. I'm telling you, Chrishta did her thing. I definitely did my thing. And TNA is going to be constantly continuing to bring you some fresh stuff, some fresh thoughts, some fresh minds. So continue to watch this show. I'm DL Master Barber.
Thank you for tuning in to TNE Inspired Podcast. This week's episode was hosted by fashion reporter Couture Life with Chrishta de la Fresh. If you would like to dive in deeper with her conversation with DL the Master Barber, we would love for you to check out her show notes on this episode to see what she found to be the most impactful takeaways from her conversation. You can find these show notes at readtnemag.com. And if you want to continue to grow even more, subscribe to TNE Magazine using Chrishta's promo code DeLaFresh18. Not only do you get 30% off of TNE Magazine subscription, but you also get the opportunity to win DL's latest book, Credit Game, Easy Repair for Barbers and Stylists. Now, remember, guys, you can only get an opportunity to win this book when you use Chrishta's promo code, which is DeLaFresh18. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to go to iTunes and leave a review so you can help other minorities like yourself become inspired to build their own successful brand. So until next week, guys, remember, we are one land, one society, one as a people, united as one. TNE Inspired.